Uh, Hello, Earthlings. We come in peace. Well, actually, no, we're not coming in peace at all. In fact, we're probably going to be in charge of the place pretty soon. Um, yeah, but we enjoyed your television broadcasts for a little while. It's very interesting, kind of bizarre, actually. We're here, so hello. Oh, your president's an alien too, by the way. Aliens are. Oh, sorry. Aliens are a captivating concept. Friendly aliens, helpful aliens, conquering aliens. We've imagined thousands of alien races, from Na'vi to Klingons, from Centauri to the entire contents of the Star Wars cantina. But do aliens really exist? Without any direct evidence of their existence, the question becomes as much about philosophy as science. But whatever the answer, it's a question that has huge implications for all of us. Are we alone? It's a question at the heart of humanity. We as humans are limited by our own perspectives. In some sense, we spend our entire lives alone. Alone in here, alone in our own minds, trying to relate to other humans who feel equally alone. So it's quite natural that humanity would ask the same question of the universe. And the answer to that question will have huge implications for science, religion, philosophy, even our own psychology. In a universe so huge, containing trillions upon trillions of stars, many of them much older than our sun, and a universe that's existed for 13.8 billion years, it would seem like there's been plenty of time for a species like us to colonize the galaxy. And you'd think that such a species would be detectable. This is known as Fermi's paradox. Frank Drake had similar ideas. In 1961, he came up with an equation to calculate the number of detectable species in the galaxy. His number came out at 10,000. So as Fermi said, where is everybody? SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has been analysing radio signals looking for patterns, signs of intelligent life for over 50 years. They listen to the background noise, analyse it and see if they can find anything artificial. But so far, absolutely nothing. There are many possible answers to Fermi's paradox, possible reasons that we might not have detected intelligent life. Maybe every advanced civilization eventually destroys itself, or are destroyed by some natural disaster like an asteroid hitting or a huge volcano. Maybe they just have no wish to communicate like we might. Maybe they are out there, but we just haven't been looking for long enough or have been looking for the wrong things. Maybe aliens do know about us, but we're just seen as too primitive to contact. The same way a nature photographer doesn't interfere when a lion pounces on a gazelle, or how the Prime Directive causes Captain Picard not to interfere with alien species, even when they're acting completely ridiculously. Or perhaps aliens are just too alien. What if other intelligent life is absolutely nothing like us at all? It's life, Jim, but not as we know it.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it.
Or what if they were like us, but they've evolved beyond that, into some kind of post-human state? There are so many possible answers that a lot of the question, are we alone, comes more down to philosophy. Is this world, with all its abundant life, really the product of a complete fluke? We still don't know how the first biological cell even formed, how a pool of hot chemicals formed into the first actual life, the first single-celled organism. Perhaps when we discover more about it, it'll turn out that that event was so improbable that it only happened once, or a handful of times in the entire universe. All life on Earth is believed to have evolved from a single ancestor, so perhaps everything is the result of that one highly improbable event. There are a fair few conditions necessary for life. It needs to be a planet that's not too hot and not too cold, inside the so-called habitable zone. And the planet has to be orbiting a star that's not too close to the center of the galaxy either, where dangerous cosmic rays could cause a problem, or too far out where stars are still forming. And the planet can't be too small because it probably has to have a liquid core. The liquid core is what gives the Earth its magnetic field, and that magnetic field protects the Earth from some dangerous solar radiation. It basically pushes it out the way. So perhaps there are just so many requirements that the Earth is a super rare thing. Then again, at least on Earth, life is prolific. It's everywhere. we've found so-called extremophiles in insane places, from hot volcanic vents to places with no light whatsoever, from frigid, intensely cold conditions to caustic, high-temperature pools. It seems like life can find a way to survive in unbelievable conditions. So doesn't it follow that the same might be true for the universe at large? In terms of the wider universe, it does seem like we're really nothing special. It could be argued that we're an average planet orbiting an average star in an uninteresting part of the galaxy. So why would we be the only ones? We've also now detected 1,800 exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars. By looking for planets transiting across the front of their star, or looking for the wobble of the star due to the gravitational attraction of its planets, we can figure out a lot. We now think that 1 in 5 Sun-like stars have Earth-sized planets inside the habitable zone. That would add up to 11 billion planets in our galaxy alone. These two kind of counterpoint arguments I presented so far are known as the rare Earth hypothesis and the principle of mediocrity, and which you believe unfortunately kind of has a lot to do with your personal feelings. Scientifically and statistically speaking, the problem is that we have a sample size of 1. We only actually have 1 living planet to observe, and no conclusions can really be drawn from a sample of 1. Life is everywhere on Earth, and so maybe it's everywhere in the universe, but maybe not. The depressing truth is we might have what's called an observation bias. Let's say for a minute that the rare Earth hypothesis is completely true. But more than that, let's say that the events that happened on Earth all those years ago are so rare that they only happened once. That could technically be true, because as of right now, we don't know how life first formed on Earth. If that were true, then we as humans will be doomed to gaze out for as long as we exist at a completely empty universe. We can only ever look through our own eyes, and our eyes only exist because we exist. So we are biased based on our point of view. So how can we resolve this? Well, a huge announcement from SETI might help, but failing that, there are some other possibilities. If we could find life in our own solar system, not necessarily intelligent life, just life somewhere else, and if that life developed independently of Earth, that would go a really long way to showing that the universe is probably teeming with it. Currently, the most likely candidates are Enceladus, Europa, and Titan. They each have a frozen surface and may hold liquid water underneath. And if it turns out that life develops there, it could easily have developed in other star systems. If there's one thing I'm excited for in the future of space exploration, it's exploring those moons. So if this is all about point of view, then what's mine? Well, I see this huge universe, this mind-bogglingly big universe. I think about how there are more stars out there than there are grains of sand on the Earth. And I also see how life seems to form in the most extreme of places. And we, after all, are made of the same things as the universe itself. The elements that make up our bodies were formed in stars that went supernova billions of years ago. We are star stuff. We are part of the universe all the way down to chemical composition. And knowing all that, I can't help but feel that us being alone in the universe seems incredibly unlikely. I realize I'm biased, I realize I don't have the evidence to make that claim, but I guess that's just how I see it, how I observe the universe through my eyes. And in the end, that's all we really have. Do you think we're alone? Let me know in the comments, and as always, keep questioning.